talking with children about adoption, and then I thought we would take turns reading the books to the kids and sort of use the concepts in the books to just get a dialogue going to think about how you're going to start. Okay? And we're really talking tonight about the early years. I'm thinking infancy to 5 or 6. Okay? Then we move on to 2 to 4. Okay? Kids those ages, they're just going to hear the language and they're going to pick up the emotional message that you're so happy you adopted them, that adoption is a good thing, they are loved, and it is forever. Even 2 to 4-year-olds who can tell their whole adoption story and sound very cute have no idea what they're talking about. They're just parroting it, okay? And all you've done is lay the groundwork. So that'll get you through 2 to 4. The Jamie Lee Curtis book uses the word birth mother. I don't recommend using it with kids that young because really at the ages 2 to 4, mommy is mommy, daddy is daddy, and having another mother is simply confusing if they don't understand birth and reproduction. So if you have the Jamie Lee Curtis book, you can just skip over that part or say the woman who carried you, which is vague, but it practice it for you. I wouldn't use the term birth mother until you're talking about babies and tummies, okay? Because they really can't connect to it.
And what age is that?
Somewhere around age 4, and it could be a little younger or a little later. Some of it won't matter how many pregnant women are in your orbit. If they see a lot of pregnant women or someone very close to you is pregnant, they will definitely start to say, oh, there's a baby in there. And then around 3, 4, 5, they'll say, oh, was I in your tummy? And they really are, you have to get your mind wrapped around this. All children, whether they were adopted or not, say that. So to them, it is not an adoption issue. They are saying, I want to be as close to you, the mother I love, as it is possible for a mother and baby to be. I love you so much. They're not saying, tell me an adoption story. So you want to go, when they do that, you want to go really, really slow. You can't lie, so you have to say, no, you didn't grow in my tummy, you grew in, if you have her name, Susie's tummy or another woman's tummy. And then you're going to see something register on their face, okay?
I'm going to be really bad at this.
Well, we're going to practice.
Okay.
It's bad because it's going to be hard to say, right?
And
So-
I cry
That's
easily,
okay.
so
Well-
even joyfully. So
Well, the best thing to do to stall for time in all talks with kids is to ask a question.
why do you laugh?
Yes, or you could say, no, you grew in some other woman's tummy, and look at the face. Well, how do you feel about that, or what do you think about that? Some children may say that they feel sad, okay, because it was coming from a place where they were talking about you. And you can just say back to them, I feel really sad too. I wish you grew in my tummy, but I love you as much as if you did. Or, no, you didn't grow in my tummy, but we're together now. We're together forever, and I love you so much. But
could we use it as a cue to say, let's call Joni. Joni has something she would like to share.
Well, here's the deal. You can avoid it the first few times because it'll come up again and again until you get
Until you
there.
answer.
That's when we hear it and then we call you. We do coaching around it.
Some kids, though, will say, I don't want her in my story. The initial view of the birth mother is that she is an intruder to this happy mother-baby thing. And some children will be really frank. They're not going to say they're sad. They'll be a little angry. I don't want her in that story. Get rid of her. And so it isn't really what we as grown-ups are worried about, that they're going to register they have a birth mother. At this moment, they're still in their magic bubble with you. Okay? And it's very, very safe, and they don't even fully get it, but it's a moment. And people think it's not going to happen, but it happens for everybody. It only has one adoption line in it, but it says, you grew like a flower in another lady's tummy until you were born, but the lady wasn't able to take care of you, so mommy and daddy came to adopt you and bring you home. That's about as simple of a story as you can tell. Okay. And you'd be telling this 2 to 4, but they won't really be getting it. Okay. somewhere after that questioning about did I grow in your tummy, somewhere they'll begin to get the idea that babies are born and that they weren't born in your tummy. This will start to connect for them. It's usually good to use the term birth mother before they go to school, even if they don't know what you're talking about, because somebody in their class will know it. So, and you always want to preempt it.
Even at 5?
Yeah, because other families haven't been to this class. I mean, you just don't know how people do it, or there could be families who are through foster adoption, who actually know the birth parents. There's all kinds of different situations. I would preempt it. You're not though having any heavies. You're laying foundation. You're giving the emotional message, we love you. If you ask a child in any of these ages, is adoption forever? They'll say, yeah. Well, how do you know? My mommy told me, my daddy told me. That's facts. Okay? So you're just using this to get comfortable. Okay? And with that said, I don't need to go that far. I just want to say one more thing. They did a research study at Rutgers University where they asked cohorts of children at different ages what they thought about adoption. And children as young as 4 to 7, okay, which is at the end of the stage we're covering today, when they asked why children were placed for adoption, the majority of children thought that it was because something was wrong with the child. So it points out that it's really important that your story begin to weave in bits and pieces that the birth mother could not take care of the baby because of grown-up problems. Not because something was wrong with her, but because she had a situation or a problem that made it not possible for her to parent, so she made an adoption plan. But you need to really get in that piece that it was a grown-up problem.
This is kind of a psychological question.
Yeah.
What you just said kind of, I mean, my parents were divorced when I was 2. And I know I care, even though my mom said till she was blue in the face it had nothing to do with me, I didn't believe her, ever, until I was like in my 20s. Is that,
I think that you're right. I think that as you go through the ages and stages, like I'm doing the early foundation tonight, there are ages, particularly if you think of adolescence, where whatever story you tell them, they will know another family that has exactly those circumstances that parented their child. Let's say she was very young, she couldn't parent, or they didn't have enough money, they couldn't parent. They will know families that are parenting. So you will be returning to this material over time and increasingly open it up. And like any story in life, we can't give it to kids to swallow whole. They're going to have to digest it, and they're going to interpret it through their cognitive development, through what's going on in their life. And so at this point, you're doing foundation. Okay? When they connect the dots, you'll be revisiting. And that's really an important point because it's up to you. Hey! It's up to you to initiate and revisit. Because children, and I'm sure the same thing with divorce, don't really have the language to frame the question. So as you learn what they can understand, you're going to be looking for openings to talk to them about it. And with the foundation you're creating, they're more likely to bring it to you or open up when you bring it. So we're just starting out. Okay? Somebody want to read you a book?